Hey, Magic friends, welcome back. Today we're on Commander Edition of Capnclyde's MTG. They've released all the decks and all the cards in the decks for the two Commander sets for Crimson Vow. Want to go through them real quick. A lot of them have been spoiled already. We talked a lot about them. I just want to walk through what I think the valuable cards are and take a look at some of the really sweet reprints that actually came out. So remember, guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, put some comments down below. It always helps the channel. I really do appreciate it. If you like to donate some money, how about instead you buy something out of the eBay store, which is linked in the description below, along with my email if you want to pick up one of those Modern Horizons 2 or my Double Masters box. Open it on the channel, send it to you. It'll all be sweet. I can put it on eBay if you want to buy it, but that just means I have to pay more money and you have to pay sales tax. So, All right, guys, let's get going. We ain't got a whole lot of time. We only got two decks to go over. We got a lot of sweet cards, though. So let's start with obviously, we have Millicent, the Rentless Revelant. Say that 5 times fast. So, it's a spirit deck, guys, called Spirit Squadron. So, he's going to start with, it has a Dovin, which, whatever. Dovin's good. It's a good reprint. We have Herald of Wings here, so 2 blue and 2 for this 3/3. That whenever you cast a non-legendary creature spell with flying, you may copy it, except the copy is only one spirit in addition to other types, lose only once each turn. This is an amazing creature because you can cop some amazing creatures um, that have crazy abilities, except the 1/1 flyers, but it's the ability you want, not the creature. So this mythic I think is worth a lot of money. He's going to see a lot of commander play. Next here we have Rhoda, the Geist Avenger. So for a white and 3, it's a 3/3. It has partner with Timmy, useful guy. I thought that says Timmy. Timon. Anyway, useful Geist. It has vigilance whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped. If it isn't being declared as an attacker, put a +1/+1 counter on Rhoda. Not too shabby for a rare. Here's Timon, the useful Geist. It's 5 mana, unfortunately. At the beginning of each upkeep, or at the beginning of each combat, tap up the one creature. Obviously, they work really well together. So, uh, and if you play one, you get the other for free. So it's a pretty sweet deal. Draws called reinforcements. This is not bad. 2/2 for 4 with melee. Creature attacks is +1/+1. Till end of turn for each opponent you attack this combat. Yada yada. Other spirits have melee. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to spirits you control. So this is pretty sweet for a spirit deck. None of your stuff dies. We have the Priest of the Blessed Graph, a white and 2 for a 1/2. At the beginning of each end step, create X/1/1 spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of opponents you who control more land than you. That's pretty sweet, just in general. The Ethereal Investigator, a blue and 3 for a 2/3 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you investigate X times, where X is the number of opponents you have. So if you got 3 opponents, this is pretty sweet for 4. And whenever you draw a second card each turn, you create a 1/1 spirit, which really puts those investigation counters to work. And there's also cards in here that go really well with this. We have the Spectral Arcanist, a blue and 3 for a 3/2 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you may cast an instant sorcery spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of spirits you control from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. Free casting is always great and broken. So, yeah. Angel of Flight Alabaster, a white and 4 for a 4/4 flyer for 5. Not bad. Beginning of your upkeep, return target spirit card from your graveyard to your hand. That is broken in this deck or any spirit deck. That probably should be a mythic, honestly. You have the Charger here. It's 3 mana for 2/1 flying. Leaves the battlefield. Choose an opponent who controls more lands than you. Search your library for planes cards equal to the difference. Reveal those cards. Put them onto the battlefield tapped. This is a bonkers card to have when it dies, because nothing. This isn't like fetching up 5 or 6 land when your opponent's ahead of you. Bygone Bishop. This is pretty much a reprint, so nothing too great here. We've seen this before. Obviously, it just helps you investigate, so you get more stuff to investigate with. Custodial Soulbinders enters the battlefield. X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of creatures on the battlefield. Not a terrible human cleric. You can remove counters to create 1/1s, so Hallowed Spirit Keeper, so 3 mana for a 3/2 with Vigilance, not terrible. And when it dies, you create X/1/1 Spirit tokens, where X is the number of creatures in your graveyard, also not bad. Hanged Executioner, this is just a reprint as well. 3 mana, enters the battlefield, you get a 1/1 flyer, and you can exile it to exile a creature. Once again, it's all about spirits. Karmic Guide, again, being reprinted, so probably a very lackluster 50-cent rare. Knight of the White Orchid, I think this is actually worth a few bucks, but this is probably going to make it worth almost nothing. And all in all, it is a great card, so who knows? Mental or Meek, this thing's been printed into Oblivion and is worthless, but will probably be good in the deck. Mirror Entity, this is a powerhouse because, for 3 mana you have a 1/1, and put 6 mana into it, all those 1/1 spirits become huge. So this is a powerhouse in this deck. We also have Who Splits the Heavens. I don't even know how to say his first name. So for 6 white, this is a reprint from Kamigawa, obviously. 3/6 flying, whenever you cast Spirit or Arcane spell, 3/3 flyer token into play. Great, although 7 mana is a bit much. Remorseless Cleric, this is a decent reprint. Exiles to Graveyards, 2/1 Flying Spirit. Twilight Drover, it's okay for a rare. Creature leaves the battlefield, ++++ counter on Drover. Remove a counter, create 2/1/1s. Decent synergy. Come on, little fella. Windborn Muse reprint, so this is pretty sweet. I think this has lost most of its value, though. This is a great reprint for the deck. Again, Ghostly Pilfer, decent reprint from the recent set. Kami of the Crescent Moon, this is amazing. This reprint, this thing's worth at least $5-6 easily. Basically, it's a Howling Mine with legs. We have a reprint of Old Rattle Chains. We have the Shackle Geist, Supreme Phantom reprint. We have a mythic reprint of Geist of St. Traff. So this will make it really easy for all you guys to get those Geist of St. Traffs. This card's lost a lot of value from reprinting, and this is just going to do it even more. I'm going to guess this one's going to be only worth a couple bucks at most, just because of how much reprinting's been going on. Custody Squire, not the best thing in the world. We have a Spectral Shepherd. Return spirits to your hand, good protection. Nimblegast, same old reprint. Sire of the Storm, not terrible. You get to draw a card. It does cost 6 though, so it's kind of hard to get going. Spectral Sailor, everybody remembers this card. The little mono blue. Drug Skull Captain. Yep, other spirits you control get +1/+1 and hexproof. Everybody wants one of these in their deck, so it's another good reprint. We have Storm of Souls. This is a good one. Return all creature cards from your graveyards to the battlefield, except they're all 1/1 spirits. You get to exile this, so it's kind of a reverse Wrath of God, which is pretty sweet. But just for you. Haunting Imitation, blue and 2. Each player reveals the top card of their library. For each creature card revealed this way, create a token, except it's a 1/1 and copies, and so it's really good. Fell the Mighty is a very interesting Wrath of God. Destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature. Since you have a lot of 1/1 spirits, that can be very easily accomplished. Katara's Wrath reprint, not terrible, but not too bad either. Flood of Tears reprint, basically bounce everything. Distant Melody reprint. Just a good way to draw cards. Alright, so we'll go back up here to the top. Sudden Salvation, this is pretty decent. For 4 mana, choose 3 target permanent cards in graveyards that were put there from battlefield this turn. Return to the battlefield tap under their owner's control. If you put somebody else's into play, you get to draw cards for it. But for 4 mana, just getting 3 creatures out of your graveyard and back onto the field for 4 just seems phenomenal. Occult Epiphany, this is really good too. Again, draw X cards, discard X cards, create X 1/1 spirit creature tokens of each type of the card discarded. Once again, plays very well over here with, where is it? This one. X number of opponents. Oh, that's not it. Yeah, when you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 spirit. Yeah. So Benevolent Offering, again, not a bad reprint. This looks really good. Disorder in the Court. A blue, white, and X. Exile X target creatures and investigate X times. Return the exiled cards to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. This is an amazing Wrath that basically buys you a turn as an instant and then gives you buttloads of investigation counters. I think this might see play in other decks, especially those that are very artifact-centric. Crushing Contraband is just a way to kill stuff. I think there's better cards than this, honestly. It says Artifact or Enchantment. It is an exile, so I understand why it costs a little more, but Disenchant does the same thing. You do get you a pretty neat Swords to Plowshares. That's always a good card. Get you pretty sweet Arcane Denial. You got a Midnight Clock reprint, Arcane Signet, like in every deck. Got you a couple lockets. You got the Azurius Locket, the Azurius Signet, which is the better one. The Command Sphere, as usual. Got a Marble and a Sky Diamond, not too bad. And the good old Soul Ring. So for enchantments, you have the Haunted Library. So for a white and 1, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you can pay 1 to get 1/1 spirit. That's pretty sweet. Breath of the Sleepless. Blue and 3, you may cast spells that had flash. Whenever you cast a creature spell during an opponent's turn, you can tap up one of their creatures. Not too bad. Reprint of the Promise of Bunril, Imprisoned by the Moon. It's always pretty good. You can enchant a land creature or a planeswalker. Enchanted permanent is colorless land that produces colorless and loses all its abilities. Pretty good removal overall. Victory Circle. This is something that was used a lot and is a reprint. Darksteel Mutation reprint. Pretty decent way to get rid of things. Field of Souls reprint. Whenever a non-token creature is put in your graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 flyer. Not too bad. Ghostly Prison reprint. Always good to keep them from attacking you. Reconnaissance Mission. This is an okay reprint, not the greatest in the world. So we go to the land set. So we got a Foul Orchard, which is pretty sweet. It's a good card. Moorland Haunt. This is a great reprint for Spirit decks. I'm really happy to see this in the mana base. Port Town, not too shabby. Prairie Stream, it's okay. Skycloud Expanse, great filter land reprint, so that's worth some money. Enlightened Temple, that thing's been printed to oblivion. We have the Bounce Land, a Command Tower, Mirrored Escape, which is just a fetch land. Path to Ancestry, which is just pretty much any mana you need. The Temple of the False Gods, pretty sweet. Get 2 colorless, but Unclaimed Territory, once again, any color. Some planes. So overall, this deck is not too shabby. I hope it comes with the planes that are listed here, because these planes and islands are pretty. So that's not bad. That is the Spirit version. So let's run through the Vampire one real quick, called Vampiric Bloodline. You get Straffon, the progenitor here. We've talked about him in previous sets. First guy we get here was just on the board. Come on, do that again. Get back out there, little fella. We have Timothar, Baron of Bats. Timothar, like really, we'll just call him Timmy. Anyhow, so for black and 4, you get a 4/4 with a ward of discard. That's really good. Whenever a non-token vampire you control dies, if you pay 1, you can exile it, get a 1/1 black creature token. With flying, it gains when this creature dies. Or I'm sorry, when this creature deals combat damage to a player, you sacrifice it, return the exile card to the battlefield tapped. That is an amazing way to keep your creatures alive, put them back into play. This guy's going to be worth a buttload of money in this set, especially as a commander. Just Jesus. Crossway Troublemakers. Attacking vampires you control have Death Touch or Lifelink. Whenever vampire you control dies, you may pay 2 life. If you do, you draw a card. 5 mana for 6. Pretty sweet. We have the Plunderer here, a black and 3 for a 3/4. It partners with Lorraine the Diversion, has lifelink. When a creature dies, you gain a life and create a blood token. The Archfiend's pretty amazing, 7 mana for an 8/4. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. With the greatest power among creatures they control, you gain life equal to the greatest power among the creatures sacrificed this way. And it has Madness of 3 blue and pay 8 life. That is nuts. There's going to be all kinds of decks blatantly putting this into play on turn 2 or 1, just for giggles. So here's your partner, which is the red side, which is Lorraine the Diversion. So a red and 2 for a 3/3 with first strike, not bad. For 2, you can sacrifice an artifact or a creature and go to target, so that's not too terrible. Markov Enforcer, 6 mana, 6/6. When other vampires enter the battlefield under your control, the Enforcer fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. That's really sweet. That's normally not something you see in red. You don't see fights on red cards like that. Whenever a creature is dealt damage by the Enforcer, this turn dies, you create a blood token. This thing's going to be really good as a rare. Midnight Arsonist, 3/2 for 4, enters the battlefield, destroy X target artifacts without mana abilities where X is the number of vampires you control. Not too bad in the vampire deck. Scion of Opalescence, red and 3 for 3/1. Whenever it or another vampire comes in, you create a treasure token. So basically, this is like investing in your future. For a red, sacrifice 2 artifacts, exile top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. This is going to be a big card, especially as a rare. Come on, little fella. Yeah, so the Ruin Stage here, 5 mana for a 4/3. Beginning of your upkeep, each player sacrifices a non-vampire creature. That is amazing. It's nothing like having a void for everybody else but you. Yeah, we talked about this guy. 5 mana for a 3/3, Bloodthirst 3. Flying, whenever you cast a vampire creature spell, it gains Bloodthirst 3. That's just disgusting. Blood Tracker, black and 3 for a 2/2 flying, pay 2 life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. For black as well, when Blood Tracker leaves the battlefield, draw a card for each counter on it. That's pretty amazing. We have the Butcher, maybe. Alright, so we have the Butcher here, decent reprint. Champion of Dusk reprint. Come on, little fella. Champion of Dusk reprint. Cordial Vampire reprint. Dark Imposter reprint. We have a Blood Witch here. Flying Pro White 4/4. Not bad. Necropolis Agent reprint. Come on. We have this Mythic, 6 mana 4/4. Whenever you tap a swamp for mana, add an additional black. The Revenant gets +1/+1 until end of turn for 1 black. This is going to be a very powerful Mythic, not only in Vampire decks, but in other decks wanting to ramp who have swamps. Patron of the Vein, this is always a good one we talked about earlier. Enters the battlefield, destroy target creature and opponent controls, so 6 mana for a 4/4 and kill something. And then whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, exile it and put a +1/+1 counter on each vampire you control. So at the very worst, this thing comes in as a 5/5 flyer after you kill an opponent's creature. This is amazing as a rare. We have Sanctum Seeker. That's the reprint. Not too bad. Everybody loses life when things swing. We have Stormkirk Condemned. It's a reprint. Anyway, moving on. I'm not going to sit here stuck on this if they're not going to show me the cards. Alright, Bloodstone Steward. Commander creatures you control get +2/+2 and have haste. And it's not bad for 4. It's a 4/4 flyer. Pretty sweet. Crimson Honor Guard. Come on. Five mana, 4/5 with Trample. Deals 4 damage to a player unless they control a commander. It's pretty sweet. Gorger reprint. Occultist reprint. Vampiric Dragon reprint. That's something I didn't see coming. So, yeah, 8 mana, 5/5. Deals 1 damage to a target creature when it's dealt damage by the dragon. This turn dies, you put a counter on the dragon. Very interesting. Not the greatest in the world. Blood-Tithe Harvester from the new set. Not too shabby. Blood Artist, because it's a vampire. Why not? Bloodline Necromancer. 5 mana, 3/2 lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, return target vampire or wizard card from graveyard to your hand. Nothing like a really sweet lifelink in Gravedigger. Falconwrath Noble reprint. Indulgent Rittercrat. Vampire Nighthawk, everybody's favorite. You know it, you love it. You knew it was gonna be in the deck. This thing is a reprint. Stormkirk Captain reprint. So here we have Olivia's Wrath. So 5 mana, each non-vampire creature gets +X/-X. I mean, till end of turn where X is the number of vampires you control. Pretty cool one-sided Wrath for a vampire deck. Predator's Hour, a black and 1. Till end of turn, creatures you control gain menace, and whenever this creature does combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library face down. You may look at that card as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it was any color to cast it. Not too shabby, although it's a sorcery. If it was an enchantment, it'd probably be busted, to be honest with you, but not a bad new rare. Imposing Grandeur, not too shabby. Each player discards their hand and draws cards equal to the greatest mana value of the commander they own on their battlefield or in the command zone. Very interesting Wheel of Fortune for commander. I think it's going to be very popular. Sinister Waltz, we've talked about this before. Choose 3 target creature cards in your graveyard, return 2 of them at random to the battlefield. The other one on the bottom of your library. Still very powerful for 5. Damnable Pact. This is a decent reprint. Target player draws X cards, loses X life. Literally can draw somebody to death or kill them with life loss. Absence Judgment reprint. Blasphemous Act reprint. This is a very nice reprint. Unfortunately, I drive the price down a lot on this card, but it is a very highly used card. We have good old Mob Rule, where you just take control of everything and punch somebody in the face with it. Ancient Cravings, draw 3 cards, lose 3 life. This is an amazing card and an amazing reprint. Feed the Swarm, very multi-purpose reprint. Night Whisperer, reprint is always more draw. Vandal Blast reprint, even better. So, next we'll go up here with Urge to Feed. Come on, little fella. No, don't do it. I'm professional, I know what I'm doing. So, Urge to Feed. 2 black target creatures, -3/-3 in a turn. You may tap any number of untapped vampire creatures you control. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. Good old Rakdos Charm, multi-purpose graveyard hate and creature destroyer artifact destroying thing. We have a Glasscase Heart. This is very interesting. This is a black and 2. Whenever one more vampires you control attack, create a blood token. Black and 1. Pay 1 life, create a 1/1 white and black vampire creature token with lifelink. For 2 and tap, you can sacrifice the heart and 13 blood tokens. Each opponent loses 13 life. You gain 13 life. It can be very good in a very big deck. And the normal stuff, Arcane Signet. You have a Charcoal Diamond, Command Sphere, a Fire Diamond to go with it. The Rakdos Signet Good old Soul Ring. This one has Swiftfoot Boots, which is pretty sweet. And you have an Unstable Obelisk, which is also a very good mana rock for removal. So that's very nice. You have Artery Alchemy. So for red and 2, enters the battlefield, you create a blood token. For each opponent, you can sacrifice tokens you control, or blood tokens you control, or equipment in addition to the other types, and have equipped creature has +2/+0 and equip for 2. Very interesting. Underworld Connection reprint, very nice. Molten Echoes reprint, which is not terrible. Masquerade, red 2 for enchantment. Attack creatures have first strike. Whenever vampire control deals combat damage to a player, put +1/+1 counter on it. Madness 3. This seems pretty sweet. Then we get to the land. We have the Exotic Orchard again, which is very nice. We have Foreboding Ruins, Filter Land, very nice to have a Filter Land, Smoldering Marsh, Temple of Malice. Pretty much the same kind of cards we've seen before, just for the appropriate colors. Landscape Path, this one, Tainted Peak, Temple of the Forest Gods, Unclaimed Territory, and then that wraps it up, guys. So, overall, I think it wouldn't hurt to pick up one of these commander decks. Either one of them. Both seem to have some very powerful cards in them. But you're basically paying for what you get. I mean, the cards probably will be more expensive than what it is just to pick up a deck itself. And if you're playing commander, you only need one deck. Because remember, guys, these are not legal in standard or anything like that. Some of them may be legal in older formats, but to be honest, some of them are probably overpriced mana-wise for those formats. So, as always, guys, thanks for looking. Thanks for watching. If it was me, I think I'd probably take the vampire deck. Just black, red's just my thing. So anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks for looking. I appreciate you letting me entertain you. And as always, until next time, be kind. And remember, pre-releases this weekend. I hope to see you across from the game table.